Well, hi, everybody. Again, I'm Don Farr, the director of the Dedman School of Hospitality, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest, Christine Hilgert. She's the Senior Vice President for Meeting Expectations. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Doing
You're a
great.
Dedman grad based out of Atlanta. Is that
Exactly.
correct? And something that
Exactly.
I noticed in your resume that's really dear to my heart is that you worked with the Special Olympics. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. A graduate, and I've always been around hospitality, from beer cart girl out at Golden Eagle and working in the country club is where I started here in Atlanta. That evolved over into Special Olympics. I wanted to broaden my base of understanding of planning things and pulling things together for large groups. And I got a call one day from another graduate who said, "Hey, we're looking for a little help on a conference in Nashville. Do you want to take a week off and come help us?" When I left that event, I was like, this is what I'm made for, is event management, taking all these things and materials from exhibits to speakers to attendees and just bringing it all together. So I interviewed, got the job, and I've been there now for 23 years.
That's fabulous. We look around at how the coronavirus has affected us in the academic world, but also in the hospitality world. And I know with meetings and whatnot, most of us or a lot of us now have to do Zoom. Can you tell us how the coronavirus has affected your business and what you're doing to adjust with it?
Yes, everyone is trying to adjust and figure things out as best they can. As a meeting management company, that's what we do. We fly all over the world to produce meetings, micro cities, as I like to call them, and bringing in education and everything. So having to transition into the virtual, it's easy for us to do. We do have a number of virtual meetings we've been doing throughout the years. When it comes to webinars, we do have a lot of clients that are in the scientific space, so we do webinars throughout the year. So we had a lot of the understanding of how to do this, but it was a big lift. We had shows that were supposed to happen as the whole country was shutting down and having to make that transition very quickly, because you still have to have the relevance for your clients. And whether that's an association or a corporate meeting, you still have to get your message out. You still have to work on your brand. You still have to work on what your network is educating on to a larger industry. So it's been a big shift, but one that we're ready to do. And we've had to make adjustments. We have had to do some furloughing and some layoffs, some small layoffs. But the positive side for us is we sit on a lot of committees and a lot of hotel groups. We're hearing a lot of good things, and we're really working closely to be a part of how to get back to business as that evolves.
Now, I'm sure you wear many hats in your company. Can you kind of give us a general day? Do you work with sales or selling groups or operations side or employee side? What is it that you do on a daily basis, let's say?
Sure, it's a little bit of everything. My day really does start off with who is about to have a meeting. Right now they're virtual. So I have a group for the billiards industry that's next week. And that's an industry is not technology advanced. So we are working very hard to be there for the exhibitors and speakers and attendees just to help them through this process of getting online. It's going very well. So I'm very excited about that. Working on case studies for virtual events we've been doing so that we can keep evolving and having conversations. And then again, I'm on calls with hotel groups to understand what is their safety protocol going to be as we're rolling out meetings. I do have a live meeting happening in 2 weeks in Austin. So these are important things to know to communicate to our audience and how we're going to address that as they come into a city.
Very good. I know a lot of industries out there, when I talk to some of their leaders, they talk about, how Zoom and COVID is going to change the way they interact with people. And I know it will in hospitality as well, although I think almost all of us are ready to get back to face as soon as we can. Most of your business hopefully will go back to face or a lot of it. But has there been any permanent changes that you see that you learned from COVID or because of COVID in your business?
I think the biggest thing I'm talking to people is that relevance. And we really work with clients. And in the meeting world, you're bringing either a brand or a subject to life. you still have got to do that, whether that's in this virtual medium for the moment or coming face to face. I do think for meetings, what we'll see come back first are very small regional type things will happen, 200 or less. You know, the incentives I think are going to be one of the last things that come on board, just simply because sales are not probably hitting their numbers. So incentive programs will be a little different probably for the next year or two. So I think it's just how to do that and bring that together. And the one thing that virtual can't honestly give us is truly that network. We could do networking activities, but you're not truly going to have that conversation that you would have had in a hallway at the Marriott in San Antonio with someone you haven't seen in a few years and what they're working on. Those things aren't going to happen as fluidly in this medium, but we're doing what we can to make that there.
So I know things change every day for us. One day, we're more face to face. One day we're more virtual, and we just trying to go with the flow. I don't have a crystal ball. Can you tell if your sales, are they any greater this month than they were last month or the previous month? Do you see any pickup in what I would call sales or events booked?
Sure. I'm seeing a very big increase in association management, which as a company, we have that service where we are the headquarters for a number of associations for membership and education and publications. So that side of our business is doing pretty well, and it's getting actually more leads to have RFPs and proposals put in place. For the face-to-face meetings, we're doing a lot of work of how to take our clients and shift them out. We shifted them once, and now we're shifting quite a few of them a little further out because a lot of states and opportunities are just not there yet. What we thought would happen in March would be June, July would be a safe time frame to consider, and it's still not. So now we're taking those to November, and we're just keeping an eye on things. We have a number of them that shifted to the later part of the year, and that's our hope, is to get them back to that space. But, and the reality is based on cities and protocols that are coming out, we'll have to see, but we're being mindful, and we're looking to see if we need to go hybrid at that stage. And if we go hybrid and for some reason we can't go to Vegas with a technology group in December, we can quickly adjust and flip it over to virtual.
Very good. Very good. So I get a lot of parents that want to know, why a hospitality major at this time, because it looks like the hospitality industry and tourism might have been affected adversely more than maybe some other industries. I'm a firm believer that it will take hospitality and tourism to pull us out of this economic decline that we're in. If you were to say anything to the students right now, what types of things would you encourage them to do? What kind of advice do you have for our students?
I think it's a great time. I agree with you. People by nature want to be with other people. So I do think we'll get back to that at some stage. It may not be hundreds of thousands of people for things right away. I do think what the students can really take a look at, there's a lot that they've learned, but now how do you take that into project management? Maybe take a little look at what's happening from that aspect. I read a lot from news that's happening over in Europe, the Wall Street Journal, the little tidbits to see what industries might be the first to come back to this. I mean, medical right now, they're going to have to meet too. And with everything going on, they're going to have to do some of that in a face-to-face manner. So that means a hotel, that means an airline, that means restaurants in that city. So some of that is going to happen. And I think you just have to be on the lookout of what are those industries and how can you understand where they are. So when that moment happens, you're on and you can speak to that and help them think through how to get to that point.
And our curriculum is a little more broad now. So we have a lot of students that are going to hotels and restaurants and meeting, but also other diverse areas. And so with a hospitality degree, there's so many different directions they can go because of the business type courses that we offer. In your business, do you see room for hospitality majors in maybe non-traditional roles?
Definitely. I mean, when we talk hospitality, there's so many layers to it, and it's so exciting. And I know hotels and restaurants are the two biggest things we all think about, and I love them because they support everything we do. But there's exhibit hall management. We take a lot of interns that have a marketing background because you'll know and understand a marketing plan better if you understand how that brand's going to be implemented on a booth or as a webinar. So it's taking a lot of tools that they're learning at school and how can they apply those different things in different mediums, because many companies do hire for a hospitality major. We're in this because, again, we love people and we are comfortable getting in front of people. And a lot of companies want that because it's harder to train on that. So if a hospitality major can look at how they can market themselves or help a brand market themselves or take some tools and apply, I think that they can have a broader range from meeting management, publications, again, the exhibit side of things when that comes back online, session management. I work a lot with keynote speakers. I work a lot with cities, with the CVBs, with the convention and visitors bureaus, with convention centers. I mean, they're going to have some tough times, but they are going to come back with some of those regional things. And I will say, hotels have this amount of space. A convention center has this amount of space. And when we're talking about social distancing opportunities, some clients may need to move into a convention center for an untraditional experience where they have that social distance and opportunity to flex.
And there are some hospitality, sectors that are really actually doing well right now. I know golf is,
Mm-hmm.
having a banner year. The boating industry, and of course, wine sales and liquor sales. It's been a great opportunity for me to speak to leaders such as yourself from different sectors of the hospitality industry to get their take on what they're doing now, some of the obstacles, and then obviously the recovery, which I think we will be the drivers of it. Christine,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you being in here and speaking with our students and our viewers, and it's great to see you again.
It's great to be here, and I'm excited to see this program grow. I'm excited to see these recent grads have success and the incoming students. We're gonna get through this.
We are. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Bye-bye.